friends, I'm Whitney, your host with Needles Embroidery. Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to embroider on the back of one of these Fisherman shirts. This brand is Magellan. I don't own any of these shirts, so I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. So Magellan, and it is an extra large monogram on the back. These things are so popular for bathing suit cover-ups. They're great for anyone who enjoys going outdoors. Now, there are several ways of doing this, and there are several different types of fisherman shirts like this. This one, I was sweetly surprised that it had a Velcro flap on the back, which made it super easy for me to get my hoop inside and embroider it without any complications. Now, there are some other brands that actually sew down the flap right here at the tab, and all you have to do is take your seam ripper and take those stitches out, and then once it's finished embroidering, you sew it back on with your sewing machine. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine, I don't recommend taking it off the Fisherman label, because that brand name is everything to a lot of people. So just keep that in mind when you're working on shirts. They are super easy to work on. An additional tip about working with fabric that is really thin and kind of pulls is to use a really good no-show mesh. And I love working with no-show mesh because it doesn't pull and it stays taut throughout your work, so you know that you're going to get a really good image. Now, while I was working on my design, I actually noticed that there was just a slight pulling down at the bottom of my design, so I went ahead and put a Tearaway Stabilizer underneath the stabilizer that was already hooped. I did hoop both the stabilizer and the Fisherman shirt because I like it really tight when I work on really loose and stretchy garments. So this one wasn't too stretchy. The material actually doesn't feel like any of the Fisherman material that I felt before, so it made it a lot easier. I'm trying to find the tag. It really doesn't tell me what it's made out of. I'm guessing just cotton and polyester. Not sure.
Okay, here all I am doing is preparing the garment to be folded in half and finding that center line between the flap, back flap, and the shirt. So I'm just folding all that down, making sure that it is really lined up quite well. This part takes a little bit of time because all the fabric is so slippery and it just kind of wants to fold in on itself. So just take your time, work through it. I'm using my fingernail to really, in my hand, to press a crease into the garment. And there is my crease line. It's really kind of faint, but you can tell in person right where it is. So I'm using my large 12 by 12 ruler, and also this ruler is broken, but my extra long ruler to find that center mark. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this where I want the center of the embroidery design to be. And I did put it a little bit high on the garment. So later I actually go back and I take that snowman marker and pull it down just ever so slightly. That really seemed to help with the overall finished design. So I'm making sure that it is 100% in the center. I don't want any of this design to be slightly to the right or slightly to the left. So just take your time with the centering. Okay. Adjusting my hoops to accommodate for the layers of fabric. It is a really thin fabric, So you kind of have to get this just right so there's no extra pulling or anything like that on the garment, but it is going to be quite snug. So here I am. I am using a no-show cutaway mesh, and this stuff is really amazing for garments like this because it's not going to add any extra bulk to your embroidery design, but it also keeps your stretchy materials and your fisherman shirts from stretching. You should have it really taut at the very end. That's kind of what I was doing there. I was tapping on it to make sure it was taut, pulling up just a little bit to get those wrinkles out. I'm actually not pulling the shirt to have it stretch. I'm just kind of smoothing out the wrinkles there. Okay, this is the finished design. It took about an hour in my machine, maybe a little bit longer. Finished design. It looks beautiful with that royal purple in there. So flipping it inside out, what I ended up doing was adding a Tearaway Stabilizer, and this, it's up to you of whether or not you want to add this in there. I felt like it was needing a little bit more stability, especially with the denseness of the design. So I went ahead and added that, and it turned out to be perfect. There's relatively no pooling in the design, especially with the no-show mesh being hooped along with that shirt. So just cleaning that up, making the back look really nice. You want to take your time on this. Again, I keep saying that over and over again, but guys, people look at the quality of shirts and they want a good product. They will pay for a good product. So be sure to take your time on that. Getting all the little pieces in and out of there. And then I will start trimming around my stabilizer. I do trim really close to the design, making sure that I don't cut the threads or the shirt, but I cut really close so there's virtually no mesh or no stabilizer showing at the very end. I had a tack down stitch that kind of showed me, held all my stabilizer sandwiched together, so that's what I'm cutting off here. Just kind of going around and cutting that out. It's just kind of like a basting stitch that tacks everything together. I use it on virtually everything. Okay, I'm using my large scissors here to go in and just cut the bulk of the stabilizer away, but I will go in later with my curved scissors and do some detailed work. And save the stabilizer. You can use this for like little names or even on the inside of hats. I'm using the color beige or nude, but this no-show mesh also comes in white and black, which is really good for your dark shirts because that white does show up through the little fibers on shirts. Okay, last view of that shirt, flipping everything inside out, and you can tell that there is a space from the outside flap and the inside of the mesh. If I were doing this on one of the other brand shirts, see that Velcro there? I just opened that up. That was amazing. I loved it. But the other shirts that I've done in the past actually have that sewn down. And I would just take my seam ripper and undo that. So here's the finished product. think it looks great. This is actually one of my friend's shirts, so she said I could try it on for the tutorial. So I don't normally try on my customers' clothing, but since she was one of my friends, she said I could.
Alright guys, that's our tutorial for the Fisherman shirt. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some confidence to try it out yourself, maybe on your clothes or a friend's or customer's clothes. These tips that I give you can also be used not only in your 10 needle, but if you have a single needle or even a quattro 6 needle. It is a cross the board. Stabilizer is key when working with Fisherman shirts, so make sure that you have a really good tearaway and a no-show mesh. Be sure to not skimp on your stabilizers. I know a lot of people like to sew or stitch their stabilizers back together and kind of piece it together. That really doesn't give you a high quality, professional looking embroidered design. So just keep it in mind that when you use a good amount of stabilizer that goes over your hoop or that's in your hoop, you're going to get a really good, most of the time you're going to get a really good finished embroidered piece of work. So hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let us know how we're doing. Leave us a comment in the comment section below of videos that you would like to see. Any questions, comments, concerns. You can also take it over to our Facebook group page. We would love to have you. Just request to join. The link is in the description box below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Have a great day, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!
Alright friends, now it's time to click to watch more needles videos. The first video up is an how-to on how to clean the bobbin arm or bobbin casing on a multi-needle machine. In the center there is the introduction to the needles YouTube channel, and the last video is one of the most recent in the hoop videos on a really cute doodlet stocking from a creativemedley.com. I hope you enjoyed those videos. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future videos, and give us a thumbs up on this one. If you liked it, head over to our Facebook group page and join our community of enthusiastic embroiderers. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!